what's good, Commanders fans? Just wanted to quickly talk about Jameson Crowder and some Terry Mclaurin injury update here. And this is from Nikki Javala. She said she reported today, not too long ago, about 4:41 p.m. She said Commanders hosted wide receiver Jameson Crowder on a visit today. Former fourth-round pick, was with the team from 2015 to 2018, and I love Jameson Crowder when he was here. The Eastern Motors commercials, him, Pierre, and Deshaun, they were a heck of a trio. Made it to the playoffs in the 2015 season, won the NFC East, and he was the last guy to have a punt. He was the last Washington player at the time we were the Skins, but he was the last player to return a punt for a touchdown. So let that sink in. That was back in 2017 or 16. It was against the Giants where he ran the punt back. That was the game where we made Odell Beckham cry and he hit the net and all that. We won that game. That was a big game that we won in New York. That was a huge game. October 9th, 2016. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Yeah, he had a punt return for a touchdown against the Giants, and then he had a punt return for a touchdown against the Ravens as well. He had an 85-yard return against the Ravens, where that was a heck of a game where he beat the Ravens in Baltimore. So, Jameson Crowder, he was a good player when he was here, man. Fourth-round pick. You look at some of the numbers, he put up some big numbers or some good numbers. He put up solid numbers for 600 yards receiving his rookie season, 847 his second season, his sophomore year, had 847 receiving yards, 789 receiving yards in 2017 and 3 touchdowns. He had 7 touchdowns in 2016, 2 touchdowns his rookie year, two touchdowns in 2018, and then when he left us with the Jets, he still had a good career. He had a solid season, a couple solid seasons. With the Jets, he had 78 catches for 833 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then 2020, he had 59 catches for 699 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then in 2021, he had 51 catches for 447 yards and 2 touchdowns. Didn't do much with the Bills last year. 6 catches for 60 yards. Now the Bills do have some good receivers: Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis. So it looks like he was at the bottom of the depth chart there. The only concern is I do think he's a better punt returner than Dax Milne. That's not hard to do or hard to say. Now, the only thing is he did muff some punts while he was here. He had 6 fumbles in 2017. I remember the Dallas game where he had a couple muff punts on that Sunday Night Football game where he cost us that game. We were in the ball game against Dallas. It was like 2016 or 2017, but he muffed the punt and they got into the red zone. They scored a touchdown. And then he kind of was bobbling punts towards the end of his career, but he had 6 fumbles in 2017, 4 fumbles his rookie season. So he's got to clean that up. I know it was 4, 5, 6 years ago, but, you still got to be aware of that because Dax is good at catching punts. That's one thing I will give Dax Milne credit for, is that he does not muff punts. And that's one thing that you can rely on. I think he can give Dax some competition. And if Dax is not ready, because he did have that groin injury, he did play in the Bengals game. But, if he's not 100%, then you have a guy in Jameson Crowder that can play and be ready and can be impactful. And he can be a wide receiver 4 or 5 out there behind Diami, or basically similar to Diami. He can be a decent slot receiver in this league for sure. So I like this pickup, man. And when he was here as a punt returner, just look at some more stats. The 2016 season, he had 328 yards and 1 touchdown in 2016, and they're not showing the touchdown against the Giants, because I know he got a touchdown against the Giants for sure. I remember that, a punt return. He had a punt return against the Giants for a touchdown, and then he had a punt return against the Ravens for a touchdown too. So I'm a big Jameson Crowder fan. I would be happy if they brought him back, put him on a practice squad, and then elevate him. Now the only thing is, this could be a domino effect if Terry McLaurin is not ready, that they feel the need to bring in Jameson Crowder just in case Terry McLaurin is not ready for week 1, just to have a guy on the roster. Even though you do have Mitchell Tinsley, maybe you could suit up Jameson Crowder if you think Jameson Crowder is more ready, or if you're going to try him out as punt returner instead of Dax Milne. So Nikki Javala says that Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin with turf toe is progressing in his recovery and is considered to be day-to-day per sources. There's hope he can play in the opener Sunday, but his status is still uncertain. If up to me, if he can go, play him. But at the same time, this is a game where it's any given Sunday, it's going to be Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune. We're 7.5 favorites, really 8.5 favorites. This is a game where we should blow them out, to be honest with you. This is a game where we should put our foot on their necks, and also smell blood and go for the kill. They traded a left tackle for a bag of peanuts. They traded Isaiah Simmons for a bag of peanuts. They just been doing a yard sale, fire sale, basically cutting and releasing Colt McCoy. They've just been doing everything in their power to give themselves the best draft position possible. Caleb Williams possibly. We'll see what they do with Kyler Murray, but they're doing everything to not win games. That's what the Cardinals are doing by the moves that they're making. So this is the game that we got to go out there and make a statement in the first game. And it's a sold-out standing room only game. first game without Dan Snyder, so we have to make a statement in this game. So this game, if Terry rests this game to get ready for the Broncos next week, I don't mind that at all, because turf toe is a lingering injury that can certainly linger throughout the season. So, but I do like this Jameson Crowder move. I like it a lot, man. I think he can help a little bit. I think he can be a little bit. I think he can impact games. He has some wiggle to him. He has some yak ability. He's a yards after the catch guy. So I like him. We have a lot of yak guys. Jahan, Curtis, Deami gives you a little bit of yak here and there. Mitchell Tinsley gave you yak, yards after the catch ability in the preseason game too. So I like this move. And I like Ron being somewhat aggressive here. He's been somewhat aggressive with Jabril Cox, and then now a little bit aggressive with Jameson Crowder. It's not huge aggressive moves, but I like this. And he brings a lot more dynamic, or a lot more explosiveness, or some pop, some wiggle, kind of make guys missing the phone booth kind of play from the punt return position that we just don't get from Dak Mill at all. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. The season starts on Thursday. Make sure you guys get those prize picks in before the season starts, the season long projection picks. I'm going to see if Chase Young is still on the board here, because that's a pick that I really, really like. I hate to say that I like it, but I really like the under on his sacks total. It's about 7.5. If they still have it on the board for Chase Young. I'm looking at it right now. They might have taken him off the board because of they took him off the board because of the injury. But even without that, I know he's actually still on the board. So I hate to do it, but I'm going to take the under on his sacks. And I'm going to take the over on Dak's passing yards for the game, week 1 against the Giants. It's a free square, as they call it, over half a passing yards, which is pretty easy. He's obviously going to get more than a half a passing yard. And then Chase Young, I think, is going to get under 7.5 sacks on the season. You have to put these in before Thursday night, before the game starts. These are the season-long projections for Chase Young. And then Dak is a pick for the game on Sunday. Using my promo code REALEDOliver, you get 100% deposit match up to $100. First-time users get that using the link in the description down below. So I want to help you guys out with that promo code right there. So you guys let me know what you guys think about the Jameson Crowder news, and then also the Terry McLaurin news. So I would expect that we sign him by tomorrow. I think they're going to make a move, and we get the initial injury report on Wednesday as well. So maybe we get an update on Chase Young as well. All right, you guys. Health Commanders. Peace.